Hi guys, my name's Claire. For those of you that I don't know, but I think I checked before he's coming. I know most of you. So we're on number 15 for the playlist, OMS and Bass. If you want to start the playlist now, we can start all together. Today the focus is hip flexors. So a little bit of strength, a little bit of flexibility. Hip flexors, quads, glutes, hamstrings, hip openers, and a couple of strengtheners to get started. So let's come to our mats and lay down. Finding a comfortable spot. If you have quite open hips and you want to use this opportunity to work on that, you can actually have your knees out wide and feet together. Otherwise, if your hips are quite tight already, you can just have straight legs. Place your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your belly, taking your option for your legs that feels most comfortable. And we'll just start the class with a few breaths. Taking a big inhale and exhale, release. Just arriving onto the mats, into this space, into your body. And we'll start with some breathing. The chest lifts. Inhale for 3. And then keep inhaling through the belly. Inhale to belly, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls. And then exhale, chest falls. The point of this is to see how much more range we have in the breath. So inhale into chest, 3. And then inhale into belly, 3. Exhale from belly. Exhale from belly. Exhale from chest. And now following that breath, when you inhale into the chest, feel it rise. And the same from the belly. And when you exhale from the belly, feel just the belly fall. And then the chest fall. Teaches us the difference. And now bringing the breath back to normal, back to rested breath. And really feeling into your body in this moment. Taking this practice to use it as a form of meditation. And what I mean by that is we bring all of our attention into the sensation of the body and the feeling in this moment. And through doing that, it will gently take us out of the mind, out of the chatter. Taking an exhale, if you had your knees apart, place your hands on the outsides of your thighs to gently bring them in. It would be advisable to have a block or a pillow next to you for this practice, and also something soft to pad up your knee. I'd recommend, if you don't have one of those things now, or both, to grab them. You can also use a bag of rice or books or any object that you can squeeze between your legs, preferably not a cat or a dog you've got in your house. And gently, when you're ready, coming down to your back again, getting your object, which is able to be squeezed between the thighs, and placing it there. Tickle the backs of the heels. We'll be starting with glute activation. So this is all about strength of the booty. So we push the heels into the floor, heels with the tip of the finger, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the block. Already feel quads, glutes, everything's engaged. Squeeze the glutes as you lift up, not the full way, just a little bit. And point the tailbone towards the back wall like a flashlight. Squeeze the glutes even more, tilt the tailbone, lift the toes, push the balls of the feet and the heels into the floor, pull the heels almost towards your body so everything activates. And exhale, we slowly lower the lower back to the floor. We have 3 rounds of this coming up for 4, 3, 2, 1. And we hold, squeezing the glutes, squeezing that block. Really think about doing it. Pushing the whole foot into the floor, but lifting toes. Exhale, slowly come down, bringing the lower back onto the floor, each vertebra at a time. Inhale, we slowly peel the lower back off the floor, but not too high. Squeeze the glutes, push into the floor, and feel everything active. Squeeze that block a little more and exhale, slowly come down. You should start to feel it firing up now. Gently coming up again. Inhale, we rise up. Not too far though, keep it low. Squeeze the glute, tuck the tailbone under to allow you to squeeze glutes more. And exhale to come down. The next one's going to be higher. So we're going to the full range of our flexibility. So as we inhale, we rise up, but actually squeezing to make sure that the muscles are working. So you squeeze your glutes yourself and just check that they're working. I hope that none of you actually squeezed your own bum. That would be quite funny. And hold. And coming down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming all the way down to the floor. Gently rising up. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top. We're pushing the hips up, squeezing the glutes, starting to feel that fire. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. Inhale to rise. Get to the top. Squeeze the block. Don't let those thighs deactivate. Just the tips of toes are coming off the floor. Balls of foot and heels are still pushing into floor. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 more. Inhale, rise for 4. Get to the top of extension. Squeeze the booty. Tilt the tailbone down towards the back wall. And then lifting the left leg out straight. So it's a one-legged. So if this is too much, just bend the knee or just do a normal bridge. And we're going to lower to the floor for 3 counts. And then back up for 3 counts, but on one leg. Yeah? Pushing through that heel. Exhale to come down. Inhale to come up. Push through that heel. Activate right glute. Exhale to come down. Inhale to rise up. Squeezing through heel, activating the right glute. Exhale, 1 more to come down. Swap sides. Left foot comes onto floor. Place the left foot in the center of your body. This is going to help you. And then rise up to your half bridge. Raise the right foot out. If it's too much, you can bend the knee or just do normal bridge. So we're coming down for 4. So exhale, come down for 4. Inhale to rise up. Squeezing, it's really important to push through that left heel and raise the left toe off the floor, but the ball of the foot is also on the floor. Exhale, 4. Inhale, gently rising up. We're peeling the back off the floor, getting to full extension. Keep pushing through that heel. Exhale, upper back, middle back, lower back to floor. 1 more, gently rising up. So we're using this to really activate early into the glutes. And exhale, slowly come down. Removing the torture device. Bring your knees into chest and give yourself a little rock. Gentle rock forward and back. If this feels okay for your back, you can try it. Mark, this is probably not one you should be doing, but you can give it a go. Forward and back gently. And when you get... So with our Navasana or boat pose, if you want to make it easier, you can have your legs bent so your shins are parallel to the floor. Activate the toes, so point them towards your shin. And hands out. Try not to crunch forward, but open chest. If you want to challenge, straighten your legs and point your toes. We're going to come down for 10 breaths. 10, 9, 8, 7, smile, it hurts less. 3, 2, and 1, all the way down. We start early with core because then the core is activated for the rest of the class. Getting a block, bending your right knee in towards your body. Place your block near your knee. Right arm also goes onto the block, making a fist to start. Activate the back toes. Inhale out. We're going to go for another 8. Exhale. Let's do 9. Wasn't counting right. Inhale, open. And really push out the air as you bring that tension. Inhale. 6 left. Take it slow. Use control. Inhale, reach. 5. The right side as well. 3. Reach. And 2. Almost there. Reach out. And 1. Gently coming down, swapping sides. So we activate the core so our lower back is protected through all of our hip openers. That's why we do this early. So left side. So bring your knee up, shin parallel to floor, elbow into block, flex the toes towards the shin, make a fist with the hand first. Push the elbow into the knee and the knee into the elbow to create a block that is very tight and controlled. Left hand comes behind your head to actually protect your neck. Reach your right hand and right leg out. Inhale. Exhale, bring elbow into knee. Push them together, create friction. Inhale out. We have 9 left. Exhale. Inhale to reach. 8, 6. Really push them in together, create friction. 5, halfway. Inhale to reach. Exhale, 4, 3, almost there. 2, and 1. Reaching out. Exhale, knee to elbow. Releasing the block. Little rock and roll coming into a downward facing dog when you're ready. Hair falling out, changing hairpiece. Meet me in downward facing dog and taking a few petals of your legs. So this is getting early into your hamstrings, so take it easy. Generally, the first downward facing dog feels a little tight. So I bend one knee and straighten the other. Shake the head a little bit, yes, no, to release the neck. Make sure the hands are nice and wide. You don't want to be too tight around the shoulders. You want to rotate the eye of the elbow to face towards the front of the room. And you have this sensation of wrapping the armpits around the shoulders. So you're wrapping. Look between the hands. Option to step the full way through, or if you can't, you can just grab your leg and help yourself forward. Exhale, step your back foot forward and fold over the legs. Inhale to lengthen through spine, straighten the legs, and exhale to tilt and fold. Really feeling a little early into those hamstrings. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. Starting to feel a gentle tug in those hamstrings early. Inhale to lengthen, exhale one more time to fold. Now bend the knees as much as you need to and gently rolling up. So we're stacking the vertebra, tucking the hips under, coming up to standing. Placing hands to hearts. And remembering that theme to be really feeling into our bodies today. Coming into that place of sensation, which can give us a relief of what they call the monkey mind in Buddhism. So that constant chatter. And see if by checking in with your body, you can bring yourself into the present moment. Coming to the top of your mats, taking a breath in, the inhale, hands up, and exhale to fold. Inhale halfway, so flat back. Exhale, hands to floor. Option to step or to jump back into high plank. Option for the first chaturanga, I'd recommend this to most people. Drop your knees, flatten your toes behind you, bring chest forward, tuck your elbows, come down halfway and hold. So this is like a tricep push-up. I don't want chicken wings with your elbows out to side. They should be sucked in beside your body, and you should be elongated through the shoulders. And gently then come down. Inhale to baby cobra. So baby cobra, we're not coming up the full way. We're pushing gently. Hands are just under the shoulders. Elbows are again sucked into the side. Squeeze the glutes, push the tops of the feet into the floor, and maybe even lift the hands to use your back muscles. Exhale to fold. Inhale, gently coming up, and exhale, coming back into downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here and pedaling out the legs. Bend through knees, slowly coming up. Hands come up through heart center, maybe a little back bend if you want. Squeeze the glutes if you bend back. And exhale to fold. I bend the knees to protect my lower back as I fold forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands down. Option to step, or you can jump back into your high plank. Coming through your chaturanga in any way you wish. You can come down with your knees up. And if you want, you can come down to 90 degrees and hold for a couple of breaths to get into that strength. Fine to be doing this on your knees too. And then exhale, come down. Inhale into upward facing dog. Roll the shoulders back. Squeeze the glutes. From here, if you're feeling any pressure in the back, squeeze your glutes even. Exhale, tuck the toes and come in your hands, bend your knees. Option to step or to jump between the hands. Inhale to halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping hands up overhead. Maybe a little bend back. And exhale to swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands down, move through your flow. So jumping back into your chaturanga, checking knees on the floor or knees up is fine. Inhale, upward facing dog. Maybe squeeze glutes and thighs so much that they lift. And exhale, down dog. Look between the hands, bend, jump forward or step forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, we rise up. Hands overhead. And exhale, folding forward, getting into that body, feeling into that repetitive movement. Exhale, fold forward. Step or jump back, whatever you feel comfortable with. Coming through your flow. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Place the back foot on the floor, 60 to 90 degrees. Come up, warrior one. So in your warrior one, your hips are towards the front of the room. So you can see me in the screen. So rather than twisting open, they're forward. So this is actually a hip opener through the front hip flexor. The back foot, the more that you turn that back foot towards the front of the room, the more you can twist your hips. The wider your stance, your train tracks, the more space you have as well. Walk the front foot a little deeper. See if you can stack the front knee over the front ankle, and this will deepen your stretch. Exhale, we move the foot, arch of the foot, come a little deeper into your warrior, and I like to just check that my knee is somewhere over that front ankle, and just gaze into your front middle finger. Tilt your tailbone down and lift through the chest. See if you can come a little deeper into that leg, lift the toes in the front foot, activate the muscles, quads in the front legs. Exhale, hands to floor, step back into your plank. Take your option, so knees down or full chaturanga. Inhale to up dog, take your option, knees down or legs raised. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands with control. Inhale, rise up, placing that back foot 60 to 90 degrees, so you're already in the right spot. I often need to actually place my hands on my hips, move my feet a little wider, and twist myself forward because my hips are actually quite tight. So please don't be ashamed if you need to do that. I still do. And exhale, we move that back foot so you're on that nice line and gaze towards the front middle finger. Challenge to lift the toes in the front foot and push through the front heel to activate even more into the legs. Exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. Move through your flow of choice, and one-legged chaturanga is if you want to step it up. Inhale to up dog, and exhale to down dog. That's the best thing about yoga. There's always something that you can add on. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. We go a little faster. Straighten the front leg. Place the left hand on the left hip and pull the hip back. Coming into Trikonasana. If you know it, come into it. Reach forward with the front hand and tilt down to the front ankle. So coming into triangle pose. Relaxing neck and head. There's no reason to create more tension in the neck. Now from here, I normally work in a place of strength where we lift. Today, a little bit different. Flexibility. If you're grabbing your ankle, if you can reach it, see if you can tilt your hips back and feel the stretch even more through the hamstring. So because we're focusing on hips today, less than core strength, I'm focusing on that flexibility. So I'm allowing you to sink down a little more than normal. A little bend into that front knee. Come back through your warrior two. Hands come to floor. Move through your flow, high to low plank. Inhale, up dog, roll shoulders back, squeeze glutes, and exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the leg. Place your right hand on your right hip and pull your right hip back first as then you reach forward and tilt down into triangle pose. A little micro bend in that front knee sometimes is good, especially if you're overly flexible. Let yourself sink a little more, but keep that back hip going towards the back of the room and not folding forward. Maybe touching the ankle or grabbing the ankle if you can. Opening the chest even more, getting that side bend through the body and also working through your front hips. Neck and head can relax. Inhale, gently coming back through your warrior two. Hands to floor. Choose your option. So again, one-legged chaturanga or knees to floor or normal flow, whatever you wish. Listen to your body. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Straighten front knee, tilt forward, and place that hand on the hip, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Relaxing neck and head. We're not here for so long. Bend into that front knee. Then gently straighten, hands come to center, turn the toes towards one direction. Place hands on the hips. So thumbs into sacrum, rest of the fingers around the hips, elbows back, squeeze the booty, little back bend, and then exhale, we fold over the legs. A wide leg fold forward. Now from here, you just have to feel into your own body what feels good for you. I tend to gently straighten my back and then exhale, fold forward because I have very tight hamstrings, so I need to be gentle here. A little micro bend in the knees is okay if they're really firing up for you today. Now, if your head's on the floor and you're in full fold forward, bring your feet closer together or make it more challenging. If this is already a struggle for you, just breathe. Inhale to lengthen through chest and exhale to fold a little deeper. Hands coming onto the face always helps you feel a little more secure. Inhale to lengthen through chest, snake squats, coming down to the right. So coming down onto the right-hand side, straightening through that left leg, the heels on the floor, the toes pointing towards the shin. Now you may be on the heel of the right foot, right down here. If you're not, that's okay. You can stay up here. Wherever you are, just try and get that stretch through the back of the left leg. Hands can come to center and support you to come down to the left. As I mentioned, you may be in full flexibility with your heel on the floor. Hands can come to heart or place them on the floor in front of you. If you're up here, that's absolutely okay as well, as long as you're just feeling that stretch to the side of the leg and the hamstrings. Inhale to center. Inhale to flat back. Take a breath. Hands to heart. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, slowly rise up so we don't get a head rush. Turn both the feet to face the front of the room. Step the back foot forward, coming into pyramid. So you want to be on train tracks. What it looks like is this. Check your hips, make sure they're straight. Place your hands on your hips. Tilt your torso forward from your hip. A nice flat back, so we're not rounding through the spine. Nice and straight. Hands come forward in front of you wherever they fall. Maybe you can lean forward and touch the floor. Maybe you need some blocks. Front knee is straight. If your hamstring is really screaming at you, you can bend the knee a little bit. So from here, inhale to elongate spine, and exhale, maybe you can fold a little more. Inhale to straighten through spine again. Maybe you can find a little bit more space. If you're really bendy, you might be able to start to get your head towards your shin on your left leg. Inhale to lengthen, standing leg splits. This is exactly the pose we're trying to get into, but coming from strength. So we're raising that right leg up, really activating through that right toe, placing the right hand onto the floor. Maybe the left hand grabs the left ankle, and you can gently start to bring your head down towards your shin. If this is absolutely not happening for you today, that's fine. Just meet us in a ragdoll, which is when you just fold forward and grab your elbows. So have a last few breaths wherever it feels okay. It was your first class today. I saw, Leah, that you had dialed in today. So this might be a little intense for your first class, so just take it easy. Gently bend through the knees and slowly roll yourself up, hand through heart center. Inhale to rise, and exhale, we fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to floor. Step or jump back, high plank, move through your vinyasa. So high to low. Inhale to rise, and exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg rises up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Straighten front knee, right hip onto back hip as you tilt forward, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Inhale, right arm rises up. Exhale, bend into that knee, gently come through a warrior two, and then hands come to center, both toes face the opposite direction to where you were before. Fingers come into the back of your sacrum, wrap your fingers around your hips, elbows back, squeeze the glutes, little back bend, and exhale to fold forward. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen, then exhale, we come into the right leg snake squat. So again, you might be able to find yourself a little deeper in this version because we've done it on the other side. Hands can be on the floor to support you. You don't have to be flat on the floor. Being up here is fine. Just let your hands support you here. Inhale to center, exhale to other side. Walk the hands over. Maybe you can come down to full flexibility with your left heel on the floor. Maybe not. Maybe your heel's up and your hands are on the floor. Make sure you're just feeling that stretch through the hamstring. Inhale back to center. Walk hands under the face. Straighten through the spine. Hands onto the hips. Inhale, take a breath halfway up. And then exhale, we bend through the knees to protect the hamstrings as you rise. Turn both feet to face the front of the room. Step your back foot halfway up, coming into pyramid. Again, remembering train tracks. So you don't want to be like this, trying to do hip twists. And then hands on the hips. Tilt yourself forward from the hips. So actually grabbing your hip bones and tilting the hips forward. So the back is nice and straight. We're not actually curving from the spine. From the hips, feeling this front hip flexors or the hamstrings really starting to engage. Hands out in front of the face. Having hands on blocks is also a good option. If you're feeling quite bendy, you can start to exhale and fold forward over that front knee. Maybe the head comes towards the front shin, and a little micro bend is okay if you need it in the front knee. Standing leg split, hands come out up in front of you. Inhale to rise, left leg up. Now, there's always one side that feels worse than the other. For me, it's the right side always feels worse. So this standing leg on the right. Lift a little higher, maybe on this side, getting the right hand, grabbing the right ankle, and bringing your head towards your shin. This side is not happening for me because I feel a lot tighter. So you can stay for one more breath. And when you've had enough, just meet me in ragdoll. So grabbing your elbows and just gently rocking from side to side. Taking a few breaths. Maybe interlacing your hands and placing them on the back of your neck and gently allowing the hands to bring your head a little further forward. Now, if this doesn't feel good, then don't do it. It's nice and gentle. It's not pulling or creating any too much pressure on the head. If that doesn't feel good, just release your hands. Bending through knees and slowly rolling up to standing. Hands come through heart center. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, we fold forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, hands down. Step or jump back. If you jump back, try and do it with some control. Make it soft to land. Coming forward and down into your chaturanga. Keep those elbows to the side. Knees to the ground are an option. Inhale into upward facing dog. And exhale, we meet back in our home base. Downward facing dog. Taking a big breath in. Exhale, lion's breath. Lion's breath is when you stick your tongue out and make a really weird noise, like a lion. So we inhale. Exhale, stick the tongue out and go. Imagine Kate doing this. Should be awesome. Take a breath in. Exhale. Releases the jaw. Makes you feel silly. Releases heat. Inhale, raise the right leg up. Exhale, bring knee to nose. So we're bringing that knee under the body and activating core. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Hold for a moment. Inhale to rise. Exhale, twist under the body towards left elbow. Hold for a moment. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, sweep the right foot up between the hands. Now we're coming into a deep lunge. If you know you have sensitive knees, I use padding for this whole section. So I'd recommend that you get a pillow or a rolled up towel or folded towel for this section, because we really want to look after these knees. So I strongly recommend you get some padding right now. I can only say that 70 times, but hopefully you listened. And gently coming up onto your back knee, interlacing your fingers around your shin. And from here, you turn that down a bit, Russell. Put the around your shin. Ross is trying to turn the music up really loud. Naughty Russo. Get in trouble by YouTube for that. So your hips are over your knee. Interlace fingers around your shin. Push into your quad and gently coming forward. Inhale, rising up, so the hips are over the knee. Get your right hand and place it on the inside of your right thigh and push the hand into the thigh and the thigh into the hand. So what we're doing is creating tension. You can also use your left hand to also give it a little bit more of a push. Lift the toes in the front right foot, push through the front heels. This is really active through here, here, and all through the right leg. Now from this place of strength, we're slowly going to lean forward into flexibility. Now this is going to be challenging, and I also want you to squeeze your left glute, because this is what we call an antagonist muscle, which is the opposite of what we're stretching. By squeezing this, this will release, and you'll find you can go a lot further. If it's new for you, it might take you a little bit longer to figure it out, but just have a play. Inhale to rise up, and from here, you will have the option, if you wish, to reach behind you and grab your back leg. Do it with the right hand, it's a bit better. With the right hand, and then start to lean forward. You can place the left hand onto the floor or the left hand onto your quad. If you want to go for more of a chest opener, you can grab both your hands behind you. If this is too much, just stay in a normal hip forward position. Just play at your edge. Don't take yourself too far. If you're quite bendy and you want to take it further, you can lean forward. This is going to get more into your hips and your quads. So your quads will feel a lot here. In whichever version that you took, gently releasing the option, coming back to our normal runner's lunge. And from here, coming into a half split. So coming back into the hips. I like to come onto my back toes and straighten through that right leg. So feeling that stretch again through the hamstrings. I sometimes move my foot a little further forward. Check my hips are even and not twisty. Inhale to lengthen through spine and exhale to fold. Again, the back is quite straight. We're not doing any weird hunching over. So trying to stay open through chest and straight through the back with even hips. Inhale, coming back into our lunge, arrow lunge for those of you who know it. Your back foot is pushing into the floor, hands interlace, pushing on your front quad, and we're going to just gently lift the knee off the floor, only a little bit. This is a very strong position. If you know it before, you can have your hands, otherwise hands on thigh. Inhale, lift the knee just a little bit. The higher you lift it, the easier it is. So we want to stay down here. The back foot is straight on the floor, not twisting. Hands up for 2 and for 1. Hands come to the floor, then you drop the knee. Walk the right foot even further towards the right. Lizard pose, hands come down to the floor or to blocks. So if you're not very bendy and you're starting out, you can create a little fortress here with blocks. You don't have to come all the way to the floor. You can even just have your hands on the floor with straight elbows. You do not need to have your elbows on the floor or head on the floor to do yoga. As long as you're feeling through the front of your quad and also potentially through the back glute on the right side. If you bring your knee closer in towards your body on the right, it'll be a stronger stretch. The more that your knee goes out to the side, the more you're letting your hips off from the stretch. This way so you can see me. Placing the right hand on the inside of the thigh and gently guiding the thigh open. So we're not pushing the knee, just the thigh. Little micro bend in that left elbow to protect the shoulder, gazing over the right shoulder. This might feel really intense for you. If you have more to go, right hand comes behind you to grab the back left foot. What this looks like from this way is this. If that is you, that's okay. If it's not you today, doesn't matter. Just stay at your edge. This is really, really deep through the left quad, so only do this if you feel very confident. If you're super bendy, you can come down onto your elbow on the left side, keeping that right shoulder opening up. Last few breaths. Without slingshotting the foot, just gently let the back foot down. If you took that option, coming into half pigeon. So walking the foot over towards the left and half pigeon. So if you're new to half pigeon or if you have any issues with your knees, figure 4 on your back is a great option. And also, Mark, give this a go, see how it feels. A good stretch through your glutes, your piriformis, but you won't be putting pressure on the knee. So if you do have any issues with your knees, it's a better option. Or if you're tight, you can actually bend that back knee in pigeon and it will take some pressure off and then fold forward. So you do not have to take the most hardcore version of this pose to feel it. Option to bend back knee, I can still feel it. I've started running again, so my hips have gone really tight. I don't know how, Emma, you were so flexible with all your running, but I'm impressed. And exhale, if you have it available, you can gently bring your forehead bend in. You want to challenge yourself. You want to make sure your hips are straight. So if you come up for a little bit and come onto your back toes and walk your back leg straighter and then come forward, you'll feel much more into that right glute, keeping those hips straight, not dumping onto the right side. And coming into that place of feeling in the body. That sense of moving meditation where we can feel and come into sensation and the mind starts to quieten down. Gently starting to rise up and come lifting yourself onto your right glute, helping your back leg around towards the front. Give yourself a little movement from side to side, cross the legs and step back into your plank. Move through your flow of choice. So your one-legged chaturanga, knees on the floor, normal chaturanga is fine. Inhale to up dog and exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up this time. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, knee to left elbow, hold for a moment. Inhale, knee to right elbow, hold for a moment. Inhale to rise. Exhale, sweep the left knee, the foot between the hand. Place your padding on the floor for your right knee to go down. Inhale, we come up halfway so that your hips are actually aligned over, so your knee and your hip are in one line. Interlace fingers, push them into your quad, and then gently drive the quad forward, the femur, and coming forward into, this is a deeper flexibility into that right quad. Inside of the left leg, pushing against the left leg. Right hand comes as well to create more pressure. So push against the leg and push the leg into the hand. Lift the toes on the front foot, push through that front left heel and really switch on everything, including the glutes on the right side. Everything's really tight. Breathe. And then gently hinge yourself forward from that place of strength. When you're in the place of flexibility and strength, squeeze the glutes on the right side as much as you can, activate them, and see if you go a little further. Inhale, gently rise up. Hands come onto the floor, half splits. Just finding a place that feels okay for your knee. Make sure it's padded up. Straight front leg. Inhale to lengthen through chest, keeping a flat back, and exhale to fold. Just look at your hips and see if they're twisting, because they often will twist when they're tight. See if you can make them even. Inhale to open chest and exhale to fold. See, this side feels so much better for me. So just see if there's one side that feels better. There's always a more challenging side. Inhale, coming up, placing the foot flat on the floor, aero lunge. So look at your back foot. Make sure the top of the foot is flat on the floor. Coming up to, so your hips are under your knee. You can have your hands on your front quad, or if you're feeling strong, you can just come up the full way. We're going to push into that back foot and just lift the knee just a little bit off the floor. So it's only a small lift. The higher we lift it, the easier it is. So take it nice and low for 2 more breaths, for 1, and then place the hand on the floor, the knee gently down. Move the left foot to the left side of the mat, creating space for the hips to come into lizard. Inhale to lengthen chest, and exhale, fold. Maybe you've got blocks, placing your elbows on the blocks. Or maybe you can come the full way down and get your head on the floor. Wherever you are, just play into that space of feeling. So close your eyes and see what feels good. I sometimes move side to side gently to feel into my hips, or back and forward to see where the juicy part is. Not forgetting to breathe deeply into the belly. Telling the body that we're okay. That belly breath really activates a primal response in the body, a hormonal response that tells us that we are safe. Gently rising up onto your hands if you're on your elbows, coming into flying dragon. So coming onto the blade edge of the left foot, left hand on the inside of the thigh to gently rotate the thigh open. Now, a micro bend in that right elbow so you're not dumping into your shoulders, important too. And just here, I've got a couple more breaths for those of you who want to take it further. Left hand comes back, grabbing the right leg. Now, the more you pull it in towards the glutes, the more intense this will be. If you want it even more intense, coming onto the elbow of the right arm, keeping that top shoulder opening so we're not closing the chest, it's opening and twisting. Couple more breaths. If you have the back foot, gently let it go. Don't let it slingshot. Coming back to center, and then pigeon on the left. So walking the right foot over towards the left and straighten the leg behind you. If you did it on the other side, then come into your figure 4. So you want to protect your back and your knees. If you are in your normal pigeon and you want to come down further, you can come down onto your elbows. What I would like you to try to avoid is dumping onto your feet today. And breathing here. Now, this is quite a challenging pose. It doesn't always feel good. It can be very intense. So using that breath to stay in the moment, bring that focal attention to something else other than that sensation in the hip. Rather than being too active in the mind, trying to take that monkey mind and focus on the breath. Focusing on all the sensations around the breath. Hands releasing from wherever you are and gently helping yourself up. So those of you, when we do splits later, if you want to come into this pose, pigeon, welcome. If splits is just too much for you today, this is a great option for you to come into. Removing that block from underneath you and gently bringing your legs in together. Give yourself a little move from side to side. You'll come into a little twist. So the right hand comes over onto the left knee as we twist over to the left. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist a little further. Maybe you can bring your right hand around to grab your right leg. Not necessary, just if you want to go there. Inhale back to center, so we straighten through our back. And exhale, the left hand comes to the right leg as we twist over towards the right. Hand can come just on the floor behind your back, or if you do want to take it a little further, the right hand can grab the thigh or the pants on the left leg. Inhale back to center. Coming into our little quick hip exercise with an arm balance, which will be a little fun. Getting your first two fingers and interlacing them around your big toe. We're going to inhale, raise the leg up. If you can't do that, you can just grab the back of the leg, yeah? You can also use a strap here if you have one at home. Now, coming into arches pose, if you do have your toe, you can bend your knee from the side. It looks like this. You can bend your knee and bring your knee up and towards your elbow. Your front arm is in line with your front shin. From here, left hand can grab the inside of your right foot, and you're bringing that inside of the right foot into the your elbow crease on the left arm. So what it looks like from the front is this. So the foot is inside the left elbow, and the right elbow hooks around the right knee. And you can make little forward and back movements. This starts to get into the hips. Now, if this is too much for you, you can just place your hand on your right knee and your hand on your left foot and just do it this way. It's just a little deeper to do it this way if you can. Doesn't matter if you can't get there today. Bend the knee over the top of that elbow and then gently start to straighten. Now, if you're feeling really flexy today, this side's not my flexy side, you might be able to come into full compass when you straighten that leg and you open the shoulder over the top of your head. Do not worry if you can't do that today. That's just for people who want to start to progress. We're doing this for a full month, so people are getting time to get better at this. For me on this side, it's very tight. My other side is much happier. Now, those who want to go there, just an option, bend your elbows, left foot comes around to hook around the front. See if you can do that much. Now, bend your elbows as much as you can and see if you can squeeze your legs and lift your glutes off the floor. If you can do that, you may be able to come for the next section. Otherwise, just work on that. If you can lift your glutes off the floor, you can start to squeeze your legs and see if you can come into 8 angle pose. So this is just an option. You do not have to do this today. Focus on lifting those glutes first. That's the first way to go. When you're done, just bringing the legs out in front of you. I like to remove extra padding from underneath the glutes, some on the sit bones, and just move my knees up and down to massage out the legs, the backs of the legs. Are you ready for the other side? So the left side, first 2 fingers around the big toe. You can use a strap here if you want, or you can just grab the back of your leg. It doesn't matter where you are today, just have a play in your range. If you are grabbing the toe, the more you push through the heel, the more stretch you'll get through the back of the leg. But I want your shoulder to be in the socket. I don't want you to be hunching forward. So if you can't do this comfortably, please use a strap or grab the back of the leg. Now from here, make sure you keep that right foot flexed too. Bend the knee, bring it up for arches pose. So the knee's going into the left armpit. The front arm is in line with your shin. Now from here, we're going to go into the rockabye baby pose again. So you're placing the left foot on the inside of the right elbow and the left elbow around the outside of the knee. If you can interlace the fingers, you can do some little rocks. If this is too much for you, you can just get your hand and your foot and just give yourself rocks like this. There's always an option to up it or to down the experience. And don't judge yourself, just take whatever feels good for your body today. We're coming into compass pose again. If this is just like freaking you out, then don't do it. Just take it easy on yourself, especially if this is one of your first classes. So we're going to grab the outside of the left foot. Left hand comes on the inside of the left thigh. Now, the more you can get the back of the knee in line with the top of the shoulder, the more of an easier time you're going to have. If you can manage that, you can start to straighten the leg and open through the shoulder. Maybe you do little straightens and opens. This side feels a lot happier for me, so I can definitely open that leg. But on the other side, I couldn't do it. So you just have to see where your body's at today. Just a couple more straightens and folds. Arm balance time, 8 angle pose. Now, let's focus on most of you just trying to lift your glutes up. If you can bring your foot, I actually like to hook this right foot underneath and the left foot on the top. Bend your elbows a lot and see if you can squeeze your glutes and lift up. Now, if you can do that, you can do the full version. So try to squeeze up, and then if you straighten your legs and bring your chest down, you can come into the full version, and you should look towards the foot on the left side. So this takes a little while to get. Don't worry if you can't get it today. It's just for those who want to up their practice and have been practicing with me for a while. When you've had enough, we come into a fold forward in both legs. So exhale, fold forward. And just letting the head and neck be heavy. Letting go of any of those crazy poses and weird things that maybe you've never seen before. Gently rolling your back up. Crossing your knees and meeting me back in downward facing dog. The last pose today is splits. So if you are really freaked out by splits and don't want to try it, or want to try it and if it's too much, don't want to do it anymore, you can come into half pigeon. If you want to come with splits, we're going to inhale, raise the right leg up. Exhale, sweep it forward between the hands. Left knee, we're going to pat it up. The reason is it takes a lot of pressure in this pose. Inhale, we're going to come into half splits. So we're straightening through that front leg, getting it ready. And inhale, back to your low lunge. Now the next option is to come into full splits. If you want to, you might be there already, and that's fine. You can start to straighten that leg in front of you. If you have two blocks, you can place blocks underneath the hands. This is one option for splits, and stay here. The option that I actually like is placing a block underneath my glute. So I get a block and place it underneath the glute on the right side in this case. And I straighten my hips. It's very easy. Well, it's not easy. It's still hard. But coming into it, if your hips are twisted, it's actually not good because it pulls all your back out and your hips out as well. So you want to see if your hips are even. Your back foot should not be twisting. The top of your foot should be on the floor and the leg should be pointing forward. If it's twisting, you should work on trying to straighten that first and straightening the hips before you come any deeper. So we want to make sure we're really looking after our anatomy when we're coming into splits. Now this actually feels fine for me, so I'm going to take it a little deeper. I'm going to change the block from one of the highest versions to a little lower. I'm going to see if I can take it a little further today. Yeah, that feels fine for me. If you keep your torso over the top of your hips, it's going to give you an extra momentum of gravity. Just stay here for a few breaths. If you do want to stay here a little longer, you're welcome, but just we're running out of time. So to get our Shavasana in, we'll only be here for a few breaths. But if you do want to stay here longer and work on your splits, you can. Feel free. You're at home. You can do what you want. The more that you stay in here, the more you'll start to feel this releasing. So if you can and have the time to sit here for a few minutes, I would recommend it. For the rest of us, getting your left hand underneath the front leg, just place it behind the knee and slowly bend the knee there for a little while. Coming into downward facing dog. Oh, pedaling out the legs. Should definitely feel something in the hips after that. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, sweep between the hands. Pat up that back knee. Place it on the floor. Inhale, open chest. And exhale, come into half splits. So hips even, so make sure they're not twisting. Feel through the front of the leg. Inhale, coming back into runner's lunge. Exhale, half splits or full split variation. So normally I have one side. This side feels a lot better for me, so I can come straight down onto the lower edge of that block. I make sure I check that back foot because it always twists for me because I'm very tight in the hips. And I make sure my hips are as square as possible. I move my left foot out to be in line with the outside of my left hip to give my hips space to square. And try and roll that back right hip straight underneath you, also to make sure it's straight. If this is really intense for you, leaning forward is okay. That's how I started when I was very tight. If you're feeling more flexy and you can bring your torso straight, this is actually a lot better for your hip flexors and also for your back. And you get a bit of gravity helping you. Closing the eyes wherever you are. And just observing that sensation and breathing space. Again, I encourage you, if you have the time and you wish to, you can stay a little longer here. The hips take a long time to open, and as I mentioned, next week we'll spend a little longer in splits. If you're not happy with splits, you can go into your half pigeon. Most of us can bend that back knee and gently place a hand behind your. So bringing right knee into chest and exhale over the body. So we twist out the spine after any back bends, which is also splits. Any lunges, also back bends. Inhale to center, straighten both legs. And exhale, bringing left knee in towards the chest. Over the top of the torso, into the other side. Supine twist. Inhale back to center. And finding a comfortable place for your final resting pose, your Shavasana. Remember to breathe deeply and feel into the body. Taking a scan of the physical body and all of the sensations. Maybe bringing the mind's eye to all the places where the body is in contact with the floor. As you're at home, you are welcome to stay here as long as you wish. Taking a longer Shavasana and really drinking in this beautiful pose. If you wish to stay on time and come out with me, gently wiggling the fingers and toes. Bringing the knees into chest when you feel ready. Keeping eyes closed and that sense of meditative breath. Maybe a rock from side to side to massage the sacrum feels nice. When you're able and ready, gently rolling onto your favorite side, keeping knees into chest and using your bottom arm as a pillow. The eyes remaining closed, helping yourself up with care to a comfortable seated position. Eyes remaining closed and palms resting on the knees and chin gently tucking in towards the chest. As we take a moment to feel our bodies, to be grateful for our bodies, for this wonderful vessel that takes us through life, and all the complicated miracles that allow this body to function in every single moment. We have so much to be grateful for. Bringing your hands to your hearts and being grateful for this vessel, this body that carries you through life. Namaste, everyone. I hope you had a lovely practice and you were challenged yet feel relaxed. Please feel free to send me your splits progression. I recommend taking a photo of yourself after this class. So put it on video and take a video of yourself in splits on both sides, and you can screenshot it later and send it to me. I know I said to Russell, put the timer on, and it was a little bit, 10 seconds was not enough, which makes sense. I get Ross to take mine because it's really important that we can see pictures to see if we're progressing in poses such as this one, because it can really feel like we're not getting anywhere. So you're welcome to join me over the next few weeks to see how we go with this pose. And yeah, you can post on social media, follow us on Instagram and YouTube. Namaste, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a beautiful evening.